Alright, what is up everybody? Welcome once again to my channel, and today let's continue for another round of the WCR Tier 2 Championship as we are ready for this round 4 of the championship. We are at the Hungarian home of the Hungarian Grand Prix. You guys must have heard the countdown to the start of the lobby, and while everyone gets ready for the start of their qualifying session, let's get down to it with our race, with our track introduction. So here we are at the Hungarian. The 4.3 kilometer race course is in use since 1986. It's only the third track that's most used in the Formula 1 calendar. The only two top tracks that have been used more than the Hungarian are the Monaco Grand Prix and the Monza International Circuit. So this track, this very tight, very twisty circuit called the Monaco without the barriers by some, has seen multiple surprising race results. For example, the first win of Jenson Button back in 2006 under very tricky circumstances, and also who could have expected the win from Heikki Kovalainen with his McLaren. So now let's coming down to the standings, as we still have from Germany. After the results of Germany, we have Jenson with the championship lead, followed by Dahl in second, 27 points behind his teammate. Overspeed in third with knowing the rate after a great performance in Germany, climbs the ranks up to P4. Then we have Nagy in fifth, followed by the second Renault of Tysers. We have Evil Kiwi in 7th, Beef in 8th with 16 points to his name. Only 1 point behind we have Carpia in the Toro Rosso, as Black Reverse completes the top 10 with 14 points for his Force India team. Moving to the constructors, we have Williams, of course, in the lead with 123 points, as Renault follows in second, 83 points behind. That gap is getting quite big this early on in the season. Then we have Alfa Romeo with 31 points in third, followed by Ferrari 2 points behind, as we have Force India with 16 points in 5th place. Then we have Mercedes in 6th with exactly 6 points, followed by McLaren with 5 points, and then we have Red Bull, Toro Rosso and the Haas F1 team without any points scored so far. So with that, I think we can get going to meeting our drivers down at the track. Just switching over the window to everyone. Yeah, everyone is still in the pits, as you guys know as well. We are going to have available to us the ultra soft and medium, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So of course people can diversify their strategies. Of course they can go for either a one-stop or a two-stop, even though it's advisable to go for the one-stop around this track, as you lose quite a bit of time through the two-stop strategy. Now my game is not really trying to collaborate with me. I don't know why it doesn't want to come out of the pause menu, which is not helping, but doesn't look like there's too much action on track at the moment either. So okay, oh, I know what's going on. It's not that the game doesn't want to collaborate, it's that my controller for some reason stopped working. Okay, looks like I'm going to have to do this through the keyboard. Okay, this is going to be fun. Oh well. So let's figure this thing out. I never used this menu on the keyboard, so it's going to be fun. Hopefully I can provide you with some entertaining camera work. Now let's see who is out there on the track. We have Overspeed out there, as you guys can see. He is going on his out lap. He hasn't had the greatest of performances through the last couple races. Of course, he got a top 4 in both Austria and Silverstone. He couldn't upgrade to a podium finish position at Germany. Got involved in a few squabbles, especially with meat that gave him damage at didn't really allow him to get further than 10th place at the end of the German Grand Prix. So he's going to try to come back strong at his home Grand Prix. Hopefully this is going to be a good turning point on his season. Of course, his teammate Videoton, also racing at home here today, has gotten a 7th place in Austria, but he DNF'd at Silverstone and couldn't improve with a 14th place at Germany. So both Alfa Romeo drivers, both racing at home, they are going to start, or hopefully they are going to show some home pride, as we have Evil Kiwi, after a great debut race, finished 2nd at the Hockenheim ring. He just gets 2nd place with a 1:18.8, just beaten by Necronical Pug, as you guys can see, and he gets beaten by Never Lucky. Okay, so the times are starting to drop a bit. The skies are cloudy. I didn't get any information regarding the conditions, if it's going to rain or not. We don't know if it's going to rain or if it's going to rain when it is going to rain. At least, yeah, I'm going to predict there won't be any changes because I didn't get any notifications from any of the drivers. Necronical Pug, he is going for his first start here in the tier 2. He decided to drop down from the first tier to the second one, so he's going to be the only Haas driver here today, as the Polish gets P5 so far. Then we have the McLaren of Never Lucky. Let me get up to him real quick, as we have him not the greatest start of the season, 13th and 14th in the first 2 races. He improved to 8th place in Germany. He claimed some points under those tricky changing conditions. He trained quite a bit throughout the middle of the race and he started drying out towards the end. Not enough for everyone to pit and come down to the dry compounds, but nonetheless it was a bit of a tricky situation, as people were obviously more comfortable with the wet track than others, and that brought out some interesting dynamic between every driver, depending on the amount of practice they put in or not. Black Reverse is going to try to get above 10th place in the championship standings, as the number 13 finished in the points in all 3 races, with his best finish being exactly the German Grand Prix. He got the 6th place there, as he was 8th in Austria and 9th in Silverstone, so at least he's maintaining himself in the points. At least he's being regular in the second half of that top 10. But surely he's been putting his head down and wants to be improving here today. So another big storyline, if I can say that, here today. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's kind of lonely in terms of the Williams team, as we only have Dahl. We only have Dahl out there for today. I think, yeah, he's already out here. But yeah, he's the only Williams taking part in this race today, so the championship leader, Jensen, is not here today. So will he finally break out of the shadow of his own teammate and claim the first win, or are we going to get another driver from another team be the second race winner of the season? Of course, Dahl, for those of you that do not know, he has finished in 3rd in Austria, 2nd Silverstone and 3rd in Germany, so he has been getting the podiums, but he hasn't really been challenging his teammate. His teammate won every single race so far and leads with, of course, 75 points, so this would be a great opportunity for him to show what he can do. As well, hopefully it's better than that, as he just clips the inside curb and almost gets contact with either Necronical Pug or Rowe. The British driver Rowe is debuting today, so let's see how he does. JJS 15 is also one of our debutees, is currently in P3, as Rolls-Royce gets first place for the Red Bull. He DNF'd in Germany. He was doing a great race. He had a good start. He qualified 2nd place, then he had a good start, but then contact with, I believe it was Beef, didn't get him, well, he wasn't able to recover after that contact, and it was a mess for him, really went downhill quick. But hopefully he can improve here today. JJS is going very slowly. I'm sure he's going to the pits. He's just trying to let people past him. Is never lucky. I am sure he's on his flying lap. Just... oh no, he's actually... what? Oh, I was checking the wrong guy. Sorry about that. I wanted fish. I wanted to check fish. I'm guessing he's about to cross the line. I want the lap data. Yep, he's going to finish his flying lap. And where is he going to be? He opens the DRS wide open and he claims P8 with a 118.1. So, top 10 so far. Of course, these guys are going to be looking to improve. Maybe get another set of ultra soft tires. I don't know if they are going to have another set of ultra soft tires available to them. It doesn't really look like he's not pushing, but well, he's not the quickest either. Almost 4/10 slower than his first stint, so he's probably not pushing, probably just going on his in lap. Even though I wouldn't advise him to go that fast, because he might just be wearing out his tires. Moving to Rat in the Mercedes. He did not start at Austria, DNF'd in Silverstone and came home in 11th and in Germany, so he would like to get the first points paying position of the season. That would be nice for him. I don't know if that was a lag incident or what happened. That looked to me a bit of a sharpish angle at which he made that corner after apparently missing it. Nah, that's definitely some lag incident, because yeah, he's really not taking the lines you are getting at the screen at the moment. But let's see nonetheless. We keep tabs on his lap time at the end of sector 2. Again, very wide through there, but I'm not sure if that's his actual line. 27.2, and it looks like he's going in rather slowly again. Not sure if this is lag or not, which is a bit of a shame. I'd like to know what is his pace. By the way, I've only noticed right now Rolls-Royce got a lap that was 2 seconds quicker than everybody else, so we have yellow flags in sector 3 for some reason, and Rat doesn't improve, he maintains a P5. Now moving to Bielyuk, as he just started his flying lap, moving to the braking zone about 80 meters away from the corners where you ideally brake into turn 1. DRS wide open as you get up through the gears. As you now go for a very tricky turn 2, you decelerate the car while downshifting and turning in, so a loss of grip in either the front or rear end is easier to get. Now moving through this turn 4 rather quickly, not risking too much. Of course, you don't want to get penalized. He could have used more of the track in turn 5 as we now come to this very tricky section. Of course, those massive curves on the inside of turns 6 and 7. We are now to 8 and 9, 10 and 11 are also very flowy, so precision and car positioning are going to be crucial. It looks like he's doing pretty well. 27.1 as his sector 2 time. Now we approach corner number 12 or 13. Yeah, I think this is 13. Not the greatest exit. Now through the last corner, he needs to be progressive on the throttle application, minimize rear slip as he opens the DRS wide open and crosses the line to get himself a very good 116.7, about 8/10 slower than Rolls-Royce, but still second place for the Ferrari driver. Pretty well done from him. Now moving to Never Lucky. Is he on a flying lap? I'm not sure. I think he's about to start his flying lap. Looking at his ERS meter at his dashboard on his steering wheel. Just changing the camera real quick, and as you guys can see, the number 26 is going to try and improve on his 4th place. Of course, the 117.2 is not too bad, as he is looking to improve on his 10th place at Silverstone. Is the only points he got so far this season, as he DNF'd at Austria and didn't even start the race in Germany. So it looks like he's strong for a good race here today, or at least a good qualifying performance from the Romanian driver of the Mercedes. As we have yellow flags in Sector 2, but looks like they were quickly fixed. Oh, it's a bit wide from him there. I don't know if he got that lap invalidated. I guess we are going to find out at the end of it. 27.2, of course not the quickest Sector 2 so far. But let's see, can he get a good Sector 3 if the lap was not invalidated by a little bit of an off-track excursion a bit ago. Let's see as he goes through the final corner. Took it quite wide. Not sure if he did it optimally, but he improves by 18 thousandths of a second, as he has exactly the same time as JJS15. So the McLaren and the Red Bull, as I think he just lost the rear. It took a while to get through the camera, but yeah, it's just with the same time as the Red Bull, but he's getting the sharper end of that duo as is currently in fourth. So moving to other people that might be on their flying laps, let's take a look at Diary. Let's see what he's doing. Yeah, I think he is on a flying lap as he's midway through Sector 2. Not the cleanest line through turns 6 and 7. Let's see how good his flow is through this quicker part of the second sector. Let's see now through this turn 10. And 28.0, so no, not the quickest Sector 3. Needs to get something very special in order to crack into the top 10. Let's see if he does it. Doesn't look like the smoothest transition out of turn 13. And he could have used more track on the exit. Crosses over the line, and he actually did crack the top 10. 5 tenths quicker than his previous lap time, 117.9, and dethrones Bro by less than a tenth of a second. So it was very close between the Mercedes and the Haas driver right there. Moving to Rolls-Royce, as he's about to go on a second flying lap. Oh no, he's actually parked on, I think this is the chicane of turn 6 and 7. There's no other way to get by him. Let's follow the Renault driver. I'm not sure if he's on his flying lap or on his in lap, because he doesn't have much ERS left. I don't think he's on a flying lap at the moment. So let's keep looking around. Let's take a look at oh, wrong button there. Let's take a look at Videoton. And I think he just started his flying lap. Yes, he just started it. He's looking to improve on his 9th place, and I guess he's been practicing a lot because, again, this is his home Grand Prix. And of course that Hungarian pride is running through him, I would guess. And of course he also wants to beat his teammate. Overspeed is currently sitting pretty in 3rd place, not too far off of 2nd as well. So I'm sure Videoton would like to get a bit closer, if not beat his teammate. Of course he's on the softs and he goes for a spin. That's not ideal, as his teammate was following pretty closely. That's very unfortunate from the Alfa Romeo driver. Well, that's not the... He's going to have to collect himself and try again next lap. Now Lowe is going to cross the line, and he improved by 4 tenths, I believe. But yeah, he did improve by 4 tenths, and he beats Videoton. He gets himself in 10th place, as we've had the retirements already of Diary and Black Reverse, so they are not going to improve their lap times. Dahl is already out in 16th, so he's not going to improve. Meat and Ice Kart are not taking part of this qualifying session, as Bielyuk already retired as well. So yeah, there's really less than a minute now until the end of the session. Let's see, what about Necronical Bug? Is he going on a flying lap? Let's take a look at him. I believe he is. He's already 1 second quicker than his previous Sector 1, or maybe not, maybe that graphic was fooling me. Let's see what he does. It doesn't look like he's going the quickest. Yeah, it doesn't really look like he's going the quickest. I believe he just completed his flying lap. That's what got him P2. Let's see Overspeed. Is he going for it? Let's take a look, as he's about to get in this tighter section. Yeah, he's really giving it pins. You can see full commitment through the chicanes. He's now going through corners 9 and 10. Oh, he could have taken that corner much better. Going very, very wide. I don't know his setup. I don't know if he prefers this car understeery or oversteery, but at the moment he really couldn't improve on that corner. Let's see what he does though. Just about to get an exit out of the last corner. DRS wide open and he crosses over the line and he does not improve 1/10 slower than his previous best and maintains himself in P4. Let's see if anyone dethrones him, as we have Fish coming through as well. I didn't quite catch if he was improving on his second sector time or not. Evil QB already crossed the line in 8th. Double G gets a 9th, Overspeed 4th, 908 5th. Let's see, Necronical Pug is not going to improve as well. Is Fish going to better is 117.1. Can he crack the top 5? And no, he does not. He doesn't improve. 3/10 slower, in fact. As that was it for the qualifying session. He gets 7th, the Romanian driver of the McLaren team. Now, moving to the results in a second, once everyone finishes their loading procedures. Looks like Icecart is the one that's taking a bit longer than the majority of the other drivers. Did it disconnect? If he did, I didn't realize it. I don't know, maybe it just has a slower PC or something. Finally, it's done. So as you guys can see, it's Rolls-Royce on pole on the Ultra Softs. Of course, those starting on the softs are going to have an advantage because they can just bolt on a set of mediums and go to the end of them, as the guys on Ultra Softs are going to pit stop at least twice in this Grand Prix, and therefore are theoretically in a disadvantage, even though Rolls-Royce, the only guy to crack within the 115s, really has a chance at pulling something great off today. He really looks like he has the pace, and despite making an extra pit stop, if he's able to pull away from everyone and just keep his nose clean and not have any problems, he might be the second race winner of the season. Of course, we are going to have the Williams driver not really happy with that. I'm guessing that's not in Dahl's plans, but he did not set a lap time, I don't think, or at least if he did, he didn't post a lap time that would get him a spot in the top 10. So of course he's going to have brand new tires, but he's also going to have to navigate the traffic and try to lose as much time as possible. And of course, in these online races, anything can happen into turn 1, of course. Doesn't matter how wide the track is, there can always be issues, especially in a corner like turn 1 at Hungary. Of course, it's quite a bit of a long run down until there, so that means people are going to get that braking zone with more speed than some other tracks, and yeah, some locked up brakes can cause lots of issues to everyone around those drivers. These people just getting around from for their formation laps. Everyone wants to make sure they have the tires and brakes nice and warmed up for maximum grip at the start of the race, because again, no one wants really to be locking up into that turn 1, just keeping themselves out of issues, because it's such a tricky circuit, such a flowing circuit where most corners either set up for straights or set up for following corners, so the precision and the car positioning from one corner to the other is really important, and if you get wing damage, that's really going to harm your lap times and your your opportunity to get the result you want out of the race. But yeah, going to open up the spectator menu once again, as you have Rolls-Royce followed by Necronical Pug, as Bielyuk gets P3. He finished P4 in Germany, didn't score any points in the first 2 races, so this third place is a good opportunity for him to get some more points, as we have overspeed in fourth, the best of the Alfa Romeos. It looks like he has a knack for a fourth place. Again, he got 4th in Austria, 4th in Silverstone, 10th in Germany, but yeah, looks like he somehow always finds a way to get himself in 4th place. Neuderreith was starting from the back of the grid in Germany, but he opted for not stopping. He really stretched out his tires under the rain at Germany, as everyone opted to pit for brand new intermediate tires. He managed very well to conserve his tires and somehow managed to not have to do that pit stop and get himself a 5th place at the end. Of course, some of his rivals re-overtook him because they had quicker tires, but nonetheless, he was starting from the back, and he found himself in 5th place. This is it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We don't have the best camera angle at the moment. Looks like the Rolls-Royce didn't have the greatest start. It's going to get challenged by the Chronicle Pug as Bieluk also switched lanes into turn 1. You have the Evil Kiwi. We have the Toro Rosso of Evil Kiwi going through the inside of everyone and claiming 4th place. Over speed dropped to P5. I saw a Ferrari going very, very wide. I think it was Bieluk, but he somehow maintains P3, as again we have Kiwi in 4th. Now it's Double G in 5th. JJS contact with Neuderreith there. A pretty poor start from the Renault driver, as he's actually going and in contention with his own teammate as we approach turn number 5. And yeah, Neuderreith maintained P8. Tyser let him through, but not the greatest start from the Renault drivers, as again we have Rolls-Royce leading the Grand Prix. Let's see. He's already starting to beat the gap. It's already 7/10 away from Pug, as we have Bieluk in P3, 1 second behind the Polish driver. Then we have Evil Kiwi with another great start, as Icecart already retired from the session. Don't know if that was disconnection or what the hell that was. But Dahl, taking a look down the order, we have Dahl. He started at the back of the pack and he is already up to P9. So again, it wasn't on his plans that Rolls-Royce was that quick, especially on a set of ultra softs, but he managed to keep his nose clean, and it looks like he has clean air in front of him, as JJS gets a 5-second stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not the greatest start of the race for the Red Bull drivers. We have lots of people row with another stop and go penalty. We have lots of people in the pits. It's Tyser. Maybe he got contact with his own teammate on the approach to turn 6. At turn 4. But yeah, it's JJS. Out of the guys that went into the pits, we have JJS leading, followed by Tyser, as Fish is in 14th place, getting out of the pits right ahead of Rat. Rowe jumped the McLaren. And then we have Rat and Diary in the second Mercedes. Pretty disastrous start for the Mercedes. They had to stack their cars as both had to repair damage. So it's going to be very hard for the Mercedes to come out with a good result out of this race. I don't know what the hell is that gap to Evil Kiwi, as Neuderreith is coming back and he overtook Double G, as Dow also overtook Overspeed, as the Chronicle gets the fastest lap. But I think for a couple of frames there I saw someone get a penalty. Maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but right before the announcement of that fastest lap, I think someone got a penalty, as Black Reverse gets a much better exit than Dahl out of corner number 14, and he gets the maneuver done and he's up to P8. So Dahl is back down to P9. I don't know if he had any issue, but it doesn't look like the quickest at the moment. I'm going to try and see if he has any sort of wing damage. No, it doesn't look like it. Or does he? I think he does. I think he does. I think he does have minor damage. Yeah, that's the sidewall on his front wing. The left sidewall of his front wing is missing. So it got contact, I'm guessing, with the Sauber of Overspeed. And it doesn't appear to have damage, but yeah, the Williams definitely does. Black reverse is right on the gearbox of the Sauber. As the Sauber goes wide at corner number 10, it's going to be heavy braking zone into 11, and he gets the inside line and he claims 7th place. Very well done from the number 13 there. But let's not forget that Sauber has ultra soft tires on him, so he might as well come back and try to overtake that Force India. I really think he has damage. As I read, the race goes from bad to worse, just picks up a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, that Sauber, it must have damage that I cannot see. Maybe it's some sort of visual glitch or something. It must have damage because the way he's driving, especially out of turn 14, how wide he got on the exit, that's really not a sign of a healthy car in terms of its handling. Now moving to other places, Spicer gets another, or is another driver getting a fastest lap. As we follow to Bielyu, who's just less than a second away from Evil Kiwi. Let's see how that gap changes as we have... Oh, sorry, I missed that one. Oh, and he's in the wall. What happened there? Rolls-Royce is in the wall. I was trying to get there, but again, I'm not used to using this menu with the keyboard. I'm sorry about that one, but looks like there might have been contact between the Chronicle Pug and Rolls-Royce. Is going to have to take a tour at the pits. Look at it, completely gone front wing, and yep, it was, I guess he was going to try to just pull away from his opponents as much as he could, because he knew he would have to pit twice on some sets of ultra softs. Bielyu also goes into the pits, and he got a set of softs, I believe, on his car. Speaking about softs, there, that is also the component, or the compound that goes into the Red Bull of Rolls-Royce, and is already out of the top, sorry, not out of the top 10, but in 10th place, and is about maybe to get dethroned by JJS. Let's see as he goes through the pit lane, and yes, he beats his teammate to 10th place. So really disappointing from Rolls-Royce there, but nonetheless, someone who's benefiting greatly from that is going to be a Chronicle Pug. The Polish driver in his first race is leading the Grand Prix, and with a quite comfortable lead to Evil Kiwi. I'm sure they're going to be pitting soon. The Chronicle is as well on the ultra soft tires, so he's going to pretty soon, I believe, he's going to have to pit. He doesn't do it this lap as Smith gets a 5-second stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane entry, as he's just going one lap down. I'm sure he's going to get rid of the tires he started the race with. Unfortunately for him, that won't be getting, that won't help him too much unless some sort of safety car happens, because at the moment he is a lap down to the race leaders. So moving down the order, as guys can see, we have Rolls-Royce rather close to Dicer. I'm sure this gap is going to start decreasing as the race goes on, as Bielyu also overtook Double G. But Rolls-Royce certainly has the pace. Of course, he had that crash, but even with the crash, he's not too far off the points. That's how big of a gap he had. He's not too far off the points, since we have Double G coming to the pits. Videoton also overtook his teammate in the Sauber. And yeah, guys can see the gap decreasing between Rolls-Royce and Dicer. Going to move the cameras in a second so we can get some better shots at this, as we have yellow flags in Sector 2. What the hell is going on with Overspeed and Videoton? And yeah, Overspeed, maybe he spun, maybe he clipped the inside curb at turn 5, and we all know how deadly that one is, as he just opts to not take the chicane properly. Mechanical Pug locking up front tires as he gets in the pit lane, and fortunately for him he didn't get a penalty, but he's probably quite on the limit from that double lockout. And yeah, very clean on that pit stop, and he's going to come out of the pits. Let's see in what place. He's currently still in the top 5. And is Bielyu going to get to him? No, he's too far away, but Black Reverse does get ahead of the Polish driver, and of course Black Reverse started the race on the soft tires, and this was basically the game plan for everyone who started on the ultra softs. Just get as far away as possible from the guys starting on the softs, and then being able to taking advantage of the fact that they have a couple laps of fresher softs to pull away even further. Of course, in the Chronicle we might have lost time with the incident with Rolls-Royce, and that got him now behind Black Reverse. So let's see how this is going to develop as Overspeed gets to the pits and is overtaken by Watt. Moving down the order, just taking a look to see if anyone is close to each other. As JJS, I think he made a mistake. Yes, he's in the grass, and again I think it's just people getting caught on the inside curb of turn 5. It doesn't look like he had damage, but now it's Double G right on his gearbox. He's all over that Red Bull. Let's see what he does. He's going to have to buy his time. He's going to have to wait for his moment. Quite a lot of understeer through turn 10. Sorry, that's not turn 10, that's turn 11. I've been calling it turn 10 all day, but yeah, I think it's actually turn 11. Because this one is 13th and yeah, the last one is turn 14th. But yeah, he lost a couple tenths to JJS. He's going to have DRS, so he's going to close in through this straight, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make or pull off any overtake attempts. Just as I say that, he outbrakes himself completely, clips the front of that Red Bull. And where's the Red Bull? The Red Bull spun! He lost control trying to regain it, because I'm sure he got that bump he got from Double G made him lose control of his car and tried to control it. He got on the wall, so that's one for the stewards. But taking advantage of all that, we have Fish just saying thank you very much and going from P11 up to P9. Now moving to the front of the pack, we have Evil Kiwi. So he's the quickest, or he's the leader out of the people that started the race on the soft compound. Of course, he didn't have the greatest qualifying, but he had a very good turn 1. He got on the inside of at least 2 other cars, and he's now finding himself with the lead and in a prime position to get a good job today, as he's with Noiderate in P2, but very far behind, as a Black Reverse then follows in P3, but everyone is at least 1 second apart from each other. Okay, so I'm back, sorry about that. But as we get notification of Overspeed getting the fastest lap of the race so far, the Chronicle Pug is in P4, as I was telling you guys. And yeah, the gaps are not really decreasing. The cars that are closer to each other, it's a Black Reverse that is just 1.5 seconds behind Noiderate. And then we have Videoton close to JJS. As JJS made some mistake, and as you guys saw there, he got a penalty for exceeding track limits. Speaking of exceeding track limits, that was quite wide at the exit of turn 11 from Videoton, as both the Sauber cars are having a disastrous race really, because they started, I think both of them qualified in the top 10, but at their own Grand Prix they aren't doing better than 12th and 15th. There's very weird lines there from JJ, but he gets just pushed over really, as he was very slow through the last corner, and well, just didn't give really much space for Videoton to come through the inside, and the speed difference was too big for the Sauber to not get through, as I believe Double G picked up a penalty for extending the track limits. But yeah, that was a move for 11th place. We don't really have I've just now noticed, we have like perpetual green flags. Well, I'm guessing that's just a quirk of online racing, really. Just going to take a look at a Bieluk at the moment, and no, we're going to follow Dahl for a second, because again he took the gamble of having to deal with the traffic to get himself as closest to the front as he could. He wants to finally get the win, taking advantage of the fact that his teammate and championship leader is not here, but he's not really doing a great job at it. I mean, he had a good first lap, he kept the front end of his car free from incidents, but he hasn't really had the pace that I'm sure he was expecting to get. He's currently in P6, Bieluk is 8 seconds in front of him, Rolls-Royce is coming through the pack after that incident, so he really has the pace to maybe get a podium, but let's see how that goes. He's going to have to make another pit stop, maybe for another set of softs, maybe for a set of mediums. Maybe Rolls-Royce is going to make his pit stop at the same time everybody else and go to the mediums, or maybe take advantage of the fact that he pitted. Of course it was after the crash, but his soft tires are fresher than the soft tires that the people started the race on, as Dahl just lets him through. Not really much ceremony with that one, as Rolls-Royce just blows past the Williams. So yeah, he's not really giving much of a fight to Rolls-Royce, which Ross is probably grateful for, as I think that's not a bit of smoke, that's just a distortion of the heat coming out of the exhaust system of these cars. Looked for a moment to me like it was smoke coming out of the back of that Red Bull, but no, it's not. The number 4 is alright at the moment, apart from the fact that he had the crash and is making his way through the pack. But yeah, as I was saying, of course his softs are not as old as the people that started on soft, so maybe he can hold out for a bit longer. Yes, he's going to get undercut by the people that are going to pit for the mediums, but he's going to switch onto a softer compound, and of course in such a tight and twisted track like this one, the extra grip provided from a softer compound might make all the difference, especially when we consider the pace that Rolls-Royce has had all race. Now, Neudeweyt goes to the pits, let's see which tire he's going to switch into. Going to pull off, and yeah, he's going to pit for those medium compounds, the white-walled mediums, and he's going to come out of the pits. Bieluk is going to overtake him, but let's see, he's the first of the drivers that started on the softs to come into the pits for a set of mediums, so he's looking to maybe gain some time by by getting people through the undercut and overtaking them in the pit stop phase without losing too much time with on-track battling. We also had Dahl come to the pits, so he's starting to get overtaken by everyone that's just on the racetrack racing normally. Rolls-Royce though is just a second behind Neudeweyt, and this is going to be an interesting one because of course Rolls-Royce has older tires at the moment. By the way, is that just a visual glitch? I'm pretty sure. Let me take a look at that. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Neudeweyt is on the medium tires, so we are just getting a bit of a visual glitch there. But Rolls-Royce 8 tires on his 8 laps on his soft tires, and it looks like he's still quicker than the Renault. So I'm going to just get on board with the Red Bull, as Fish gets a 3-second time penalty for extending the race limits. Really, the stewards don't look very happy with his interpretation of where the racing line is, as he went very wide through that last corner. Neudeweyt tries to deny the slipstream to the Red Bull, but just braking later, and he gets the move done, and he's up to P5. So yeah, as I was saying, yes, he's on older tires, but those are still softs compared to the mediums, and that grip difference from the softer compound makes all the difference. Moving to Evil Kiwi, who also made his pit stop in the meantime, only dropped down to P3. And he's not too far away from the Chronicle Pug as Black Reverse inherits the race lead, and is the driver with the most laps on his set of softs. Maybe Black Reverse, he knows that he has to pit for the mediums, but maybe he's just trying to take advantage of the fact that even though those are worn softs, they are still soft tires, and maybe he's just taking better care of those tires than his rivals. And of course, whenever he makes the transition to the mediums, if he keeps life in them, and the fact that he's at least 1 or 2 laps on 1 or 2 laps younger tires might make the difference. Because again, this track is really about the flow of it, about your positioning through corner to corner, and when you are battling, you really want to get that extra traction. You really want to get the tires in the best condition possible, because just that traction exit or that traction difference might allow you to get a better exit and be better positioned for the following corner, and therefore getting the racing line and getting either an overtaking attempt or a defensive maneuver successfully done. So just got a penalty, I believe it was Bielyuk, got a 3-second time penalty, as Rolls-Royce also got a 3-second time penalty, as it's been pushing quite hard to come back through the pack, and he's still on his soft tires. I'm pretty sure from now he's going to pit onto another set of softs, goes pretty wide there as well through turn 11. He's going to follow on board with the Dutch driver. Black Reverse taking a wider line through turn 13. Let's see, now he's going to set up the Force India. What can he do? Let's see, DRS wide open as he's chasing that Force India driver. He goes to the inside. Rolls-Royce goes to the outside and into turn 1. He goes on the brakes, he goes a bit wide, and where is he? Oh, something might have happened with Black Reverse. I think he spun. Yes, he spun. He doesn't have end plates on his front wing. His front wing is basically looking a lot like the 2019 front wings, and he's still defending the position. Oh, sorry, he's not defending the position because his teammate is a lap down. But yeah, unfortunately for him, he's doing a very good race, as he was trying to improve on the 6th place at Germany to get out of 10th in the championship. But I'm guessing, I don't think there was contact. I'm guessing he just tried to keep up in traction with Rolls-Royce. And again, the difference in tire compounds, the mediums can't really keep up with the softs, and it went on the throttle too early and found himself in the wall. A bit like what Vettel just did this past weekend at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Just went on the throttle too hard too hard and too soon after Hamilton overtook him around the outside into turn 4, I believe that was. So now let's follow with Black Reverse as he heads into the pits. Let's see what compound of tire is going to fit into the car. I'm not sure the softs can do the distance, as Dahl retires from the session, so no, he's not going to maintain the Williams as the only race winners, so unfortunately he won't be able to catch up to his teammate in the championship. Brand new front wing, and that is soft tires. Okay, believes the soft tires can make this distance. I'm not really sure, but I guess with the car lighter on fuel, he can extend that stint. Now back to the front of the pack, we have Noiderate 1 second away from Rolls-Royce. I'm sure Rolls-Royce's tires are going to start falling off a little bit. Yes, Noiderate has been on the mediums, but at some point the softs are going to lose efficiency compared to the mediums, despite being a softer compound when you use them for long enough. they are going to lose their efficiency as Bialyuk goes into the pits to finally switch onto the mediums. So he started the race on the ultra softs, he made this change to the softs, and now he's going for the mediums until the end of the Grand Prix. Or maybe he's going to try and pick up a set of softs. Let's see how that goes actually. As Bialyuk, yeah, he's on a set of softs. He's going to come out in 6th place, I believe. I don't think Fish is going to overtake the Croatian. But yeah, Bialyuk is going to have a bit of work, of course. People like Mechanical Pug, and I'm not sure if Mechanical still has to pit. Let's take a look at the amount of sorry, that's not the detail I wanted. The stops, yeah, they've pitted once and is on the super softs, the softs rather. So I guess he has to stop one more time. Of course, he's going to lose the position to Evil Kiwi, but he's going to have soft tires that are fresher than Bialyuk. So of course, Bialyuk is going to undercut him, so gain some time. But let's see how that all develops in terms of track position, as we have a bit of a change between Fish, as Fish was disqualified for going the wrong way. Maybe it was just as Rolls-Royce, this race goes from bad to worse to him. He just got a 5-second stop and go penalty for exceeding the speed limit. I'm sure Fish was just trying to recover himself off of the wall or something, but he got disqualified for going the wrong way, which is very unfortunate. So yeah, Mechanical Pug is still leading, almost 10 seconds away from Evil Kiwi. He's maintaining good life on his tires. Now moving down the order, we have Rolls-Royce in a second set of softs, and Bialyuk just overtook him. JGS is in the pits. Black Reverse is still in the points, despite all the issues that happened to him. He's still in the points, and of course Double G is going to have to pit. Videoton is also going to have to pit, I believe. So he's at least on pace for 8th place, I believe. But let's see how that goes. Now, I'm sure Tyser, let me just find him on the list real quick. I'm sure Tyser will have to pit pretty soon, because he's on 17 laps worth of those soft tires. There's never Black Reverse got a 3-second time penalty for exceeding the track limit. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he has to pit this lap or the next lap, because there's no way these soft tires are going to take much more punishment. And no, it just doesn't pit unless I'm just getting a visual glitch, and he's in fact not on his about to be 18th lap. Is really punishing those soft tires. Well, if it works for him, oh boy, he went on the grass. Okay, that wasn't a lockup. After going on the grass like that, I was pretty sure he's going to lock up that front left, or maybe even the rear left, which would be a bit more dangerous. But it looks like he went through it fine. And taking a look at the gaps between each other, yeah, there's not really much people close to each other. So just taking a look at Videoton, it doesn't seem like his car is fine to start with, which is a good thing. His front wing is intact, but he made his way. He didn't have the best qualifying, but at least he's having a better race than his teammate. Overspeed qualified in 4th, I believe, and he's down to 10th. Videoton qualified in 10th or somewhere around there, but he has had less issues than his teammate, and not only is he having a better race, but at least he's on a respectable 7th place at his own Grand Prix. I'm sure he'll be happy with that, and if anything comes his way, he's going to be pretty happy with that as well. Just as I say that, a little bit of commentator's curse perhaps it just goes on a safari there. I'm pretty sure he saw some bit of wildlife with how far he went off the track, as we got notified that Rolls-Royce just posted a new fastest lap of the race. He's really pushing, he really has the pace today. Yes, he's going to have the 3-second time penalty. Yes, he's going to get added the 5-second stop and go penalty if he doesn't go to the pits again, because he sped under the pit lane. He didn't respect the speed limit, unfortunately for him. So he's really trying to get back to the top 5 as quickly as he can. He's still around 2.5 seconds away from Bieluk, who is not a slouch either, and he's on good form. He got 4th place at Germany, so I'm sure he's going to try to improve on that. Now, someone who's also closing in on the car ahead is Evil Kiwi. As you guys might have been paying attention to, the gap has been dropping between the Chronicle Pug and Evil Kiwi. As Tyser hasn't pitted yet. He's on his 20th lap on the set of soft tires. I swear to God, what is this? He already pitted, right? I think he started on the ultra softs and pitted for softs, and I mean, he can't take another set of soft unless he's trying to go for the ultra softs at the end. He deserves a round of applause if he pulls that off. Ultra soft, soft, ultra soft. If he pulls that one off, he's a legend, really, in my books. That's going to be pretty hard, especially considering that if he started on... yeah, he has a pit stop to his name, right? Well, let me just check that real quick. Yeah, yes, he has a pit stop. So he started the race on the ultra soft, or at least on another set of tires. So yeah, he's not running on those softs since exactly the start of the Grand Prix, but nonetheless, taking them for 20 laps. And what is he trying to do? Like, he's trying to pit stop at lap 25 and try to do a 10-lap stint on the ultra softs, because of course maybe the car can pull that off since it's lighter on fuel. It's not as demanding on the tires, but nonetheless, we have Rolls-Royce going pretty wide at the exit of lap 14. Bieluk goes defensive to the inside, but the move is consolidated way before the braking zone, and yeah, really no chance of defense from Bieluk as he gets dropped down to P6. Rat gets another 3-second time penalty. So yeah, this race has been pretty disastrous from the start for from the Mercedes team. Both of them got front wing damage. Both of them pitted at the end of the first lap of the race, and unfortunately they didn't really they haven't been able to recover. The race hasn't come their way. No safety cars, nothing of the sort. So really hasn't been that great for them. Now moving to Black Reverse, he's been closing in on Videoton for the past couple of laps. Let's just see how it goes. Wait, first let's take a look at Rolls-Royce, because he suddenly got very close to Tyser. And yeah, I'm sure he's going to try to make his second overtake in the same amount of laps. Tyser is really struggling on those 21 lap old softs, and he's just going to open DRS, and let's see, yeah, it goes to the inside. The Renault just lets him about, even though he tries to outbrake the Dutch driver of the Red Bull into turn 1. But yeah, he starts lap number 22 and gets demoted to P5. Now moving to Black Reverse, I'm sure he's going to also at least get closer to Videoton. Yeah, didn't look like this one was his lap. He has 10 laps fresher softs on the car, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be quicker than the Hungarian, but I'm pretty sure Videoton is going to defend tooth and nail that 7th place as he wants to get the best position possible at his own long straight. Now, moving to Bieluk, he's also been closing in on Tyser, because, of course, look at the difference in laps. Like, Tyser has over 3 times as many laps on those tires as Bieluk has, and he went pretty deep at corner number 13, as you guys could see there. Let's see if he is able to sustain the Croatian's Ferrari behind him is pretty close at the exit of turn 14. It's going to be pretty hard for him to defend. Is Bialy going to the inside? He does move to the inside, gives it a thought, and he actually makes it through. Okay, for a moment I thought Bialy was going to refrain from launching it down the inside. Didn't look like he was outbreaking Tyser too much, but I'm sure Tyser wasn't really interested in wasting too much time defending his position, as Black Reverse in the meantime also overtook Videoton. Talking about people that are closing other people really fast. You have Evil Kiwi. I'm not sure if Necronical Pug is also intentioning, just like Tyser. I don't know if he's intentioning to take those softs until the end of the race, or at least to wait until they can go and viably switch onto a set of ultra soft tires. But Evil Kiwi has been closing in rather fast on Necronical Pug. I would say about 3-4 tenths per lap, maybe even more than that. The gap has been slowly but surely reducing, and Evil Kiwi is finally within 2 seconds of the Polish driver here on his debut race. I don't know if he had contact with Rolls-Royce. Let's not forget Rolls-Royce is doing amazingly to get himself in the top 5, because not only he has 2 penalties, one for track extension, another for not respecting the pit limit or the pit speed limit, but sorry, as Tyser finally goes to the pits to get a set of ultra softs. But Rolls-Royce, let's not forget, he also had a moment with the wall. I'm not sure if that moment with the wall was caused by Necronical Pug or if he just lost the rear out of turn 11. But the truth is, Necronical Pug is leading this race on his debut. Evil Kiwi on his debut last race in Germany got P2, and the only way for him to improve on that is to get first here today. He's very close to the back of that Haas. Is he going to try to outbrake the pole? Let's see. And he goes on the inside and he pretty much makes the move stick. Very clear on the exit as the pole is trying tooth and nail to get side by side, but the acceleration was just better from the Toro Rosso driver as the rain is starting to fall. Now I think now I know why people were holding out, people like Tyser were holding out on pitting, because they were probably just trying to expect the rain to come in and try to not pit at all until there was an opportunity to switch into the intermediates. They went for that bet, they lost the bet, unfortunately. Tyser down to P8 on the ultra softs though, so I'm sure he's going to move up to the back rather quickly, as one of the mistakes of the McLaren just gets out of the way of that Toro Rosso. But yeah, now I understand why people were going so long on their sets of tires. Videoton 20th lap, overspeed 20 laps as well on those softs. Necronical Pug 20th lap as well. So yeah, lots of people were betting on the rain period to adapt their strategy, maybe take advantage of not pitting as many times. But yeah, for some of them it hasn't really worked. Tyser took the bite on the bullet and he went for the ultra softs, even though he already overtook Videoton. So Videoton is demoted to P8. I'm pretty sure he didn't really have much of a fight to put up. Let's follow Tyser, by the way, for a moment, as he's just getting past one of the McLarens. I think it's actually Rat, because Rat, I'm honestly not sure why. I'm pretty sure the DRS hasn't been disabled yet, so for those of you that don't know, you have a message from race control that tells you the DRS has been disabled, and only when you can know that the intermediates are the better compound compared to the dry compounds. Meat just entering the pit stop, the pit lane after his 22nd lap on softs. He's going to switch for the intermediates, but he he didn't respect the speed at the entry and get himself another 5-second stop and go penalty. Videoton also taking a gamble on the intermediate tires. I'm guessing Overspeed is in the pits and is also going for the intermediate. So a bit of a stacking up for the Sauber guys. But again, these tires might never become the most effective. Yeah, the rain is going down with relative intensity, but until we get the notification from Race Control that the DRS has been disabled, there's no way we can tell the intermediates are the tire to be. We have Neither 8 in the pits, and it's going to change for intermediates, so lots of people, the intermediates are starting to be the most popular tire at the moment. So let's see how this goes. Bieluk is also in the pits, just respecting the pit limit, and is going to switch for intermediates. Again, maybe I missed it, but I don't think we've had the race control message, but they are the drivers, they are feeling the levels of grip out there on track, as Overspeed gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. But yeah, the drivers are the ones that feel the grip levels decreasing, and if they feel that it's time to go for the intermediates, they are probably right, even though the leaders and Tyser aren't really going for it. So yeah, it's kind of weird at the moment what's going on, because again, they are committing to a strategy that's not the most optimal at the moment and might never become the most optimal. Even though Chronicle Pug and Evil Kiwi are entering the pit, so I'm sure those guys are going to switch for either for Ultra Softs or for intermediates. But yeah, let's take a look at this. I'm sure that Toro Rosso is going to get held up, at least by half a second. But is going to switch back. Owen, what was that? Oh, I think that was just a lag moment. So yeah, I'm guessing Rolls-Royce is also in the pits. Yes, it just enters the pit lane. Is he going to... Okay, this time he learned his lesson. This time he respected the speed limits. Let's see how that goes. As we have a bit of a battle between Tyser and Black Reverse. They want to be the first to enter the pits. Yeah, they want to be the first to enter the pits. And Tyser gets a 5-stop-and-go penalty. How does he do that? Wow. I'm really surprised by that one, because Black Reverse respected the speed limit, right? And I don't know, Tyser maybe just should have tried to focus on avoiding the back of that Force India, but maybe just tried to maximize and get closer to him. Maybe he got caught out by the fact that he didn't have as much grip, because of course the car ahead gets a bit of... even though at such low speeds it isn't as effective, of course you still have someone in front of you clearing the air, so to speak, and therefore that front wing won't work as well. Maybe he was caught out by that, I don't know, but maybe it was just the amount of water on track and he got caught out by that. But nonetheless, it's a 5-second stop-and-go penalty for Tyser, who pitted for Ultra Softs, and it really didn't work out for him, as he lost his place on the top 5. He's down in 7th at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see if he's more comfortable than a Black Reverse under these circumstances. Just taking a look around, and let's go down to the lower half of the field. We have Double G going pretty deep into turn 1. As I was just about to see if he was going to have a battle with JJS, but he just lost it down to 2 seconds of a difference now, as Noiderate gets a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately for him. Rolls-Royce went into the pits, lost the place to Noiderate. I don't remember if Rolls-Royce was ahead of the Renault by the time the rain started coming down. I don't think he was, but he also not only was behind the Renault, he also took longer to go to the intermediates. So that cost him quite a bit of time, and I don't think he really has an opportunity to get into the podium at the moment, because he has those 2 penalties and he also has an 18-second gap to Noiderate. So I think a podium finish for Rolls-Royce is out of the cards, despite his pretty good race, considering what he has been through so far. He also had a front row qualifying at Germany, but couldn't translate that into a win, or at least a podium, or any points at all. He DNF'd in Germany. So another race where Rolls-Royce can't translate a superb qualifying performance into the same into the same position in the race. Now moving down, Bieluk has been closing in on Rolls-Royce. Maybe Bieluk is more comfortable in these environmental conditions. I was right about to say in these settings there for some reason, but no, it's in these circumstances. Black Reverse also looks like he's more comfortable than Tyser. He's been pulling away. Tyser, or maybe Tyser just made the mistake, but I think Black Reverse made a mistake of his own, because the gap just decreased by a second between those two. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we're getting on board with the Hungarian driver. I forgot Tyser is one of the Hungarian drivers in this league, and I'm pretty sure he wants to do better than what he currently is. Fun fact, all the Hungarian drivers are currently 7th, 8th and 9th, so mixed fortunes from the Hungarians here today at their Grand Prix. Tyson and Overspeed had much better qualifying performances than what they are having at now, as Bieluk gets a 3-second time penalty and Mead just left the session. Unfortunately for him, he's not going to take a chance at improving his position. But yeah, mixed fortunes, as I was saying. Overspeed and Tyser dropped down from their qualifying positions. Videoton, despite being in 8th place, it's not the greatest position ever, but it's still respectable, as I think Rat got some issues and he just retired from the race. Maybe he collided with the retired car of Meat. I'm not sure. Maybe Meat ghosted or something. But yeah, Rat just retired from the race. Keep on following with Tyser. A bit wide to turn 13 there, but he's going to be able to straighten out the exit. Black Reverse goes on the curbs. Not really the grippiest of choices from the Belgian driver. He's about to start lap number 34. Rolls-Royce with a 3-second time penalty, so another penalty for Rolls-Royce. Sorry, Royce. And we have a launch there, Ricciardo style, from Tyser on Black Reverse, but Black Reverse gets the switchback and maintains P6, so great defensive maneuver there from Black Reverse. Yes, he left the space to Tyser. He probably got surprised by the Hungarian. That was a bit of a brave maneuver, but yeah, it really didn't stop the car on time to be able to avoid Reverse coming back at him and maintaining P6. But yeah, Rolls-Royce might, I think Rolls-Royce, with the amount of penalties he has, I think he's going to finish in 5th, maybe even down to 6th or 7th, because these two are too close. As Black Reverse just got another 3-second time penalty, unfortunately for him. He's putting up a good fight to maintain himself in front of Tyser, but maybe that will go in vain, because I don't remember Tyser getting any penalties. I don't remember any notifications from race control about Tyser. But yeah, Black Reverse, even though on track, is doing well to keep himself in front. At the end, because of the added times due to penalties, he might actually end up behind the Renault driver. Tyson has been losing time through this last sector, but these two are still the cars that are the closest to each other on a track. So really, if we are going to have any action in terms of movement, unless someone makes a mistake, I think if we are going to have a chance at any overtaking action, it's going to be between these two. He's going to on board again with the Hungarian, just to see on track what lines he's getting, and the lines Black Reverse is getting, where he's losing time, where he's gaining time. Maybe just coming down to practice. Maybe Black Reverse was expecting rain, which is all that uncommon on this track. So yeah, that's how it goes. I'm getting messages from Nate asking me to invite him. I'm going to invite him real quick. Just give me a moment. I'm going to invite him for the lobby. because it was asking me to invite him because he disconnected. I'm getting the Steam messages. He disconnected. That's why, and he wants to get back in. That's why he was asking me to invite him. But yeah, Tyser has been losing ground, and yeah, the gap is increasing actually between these two. So yeah, maybe he's not really going to have a chance at taking that 6th place, at least on track. But yeah, moving to the front of the pack, we have Evil Kiwi, and just a masterclass really. He didn't qualify the best. But he had a pretty ballsy maneuver into turn 1 at the start of the Grand Prix. He went on the inside of both Bialyuk and someone else who I don't remember. I think it was Overspeed, because I believe it was Overspeed and Bialyuk occupying the 2nd row. But there you have it. He took the risk and it paid off as Evil Kiwi crosses over the line to take home the win of this Hungarian Grand Prix. His Mechanical Puck comes home in P2 in his debut. Noiderate is going to cross the line in P3, but let's see how it's going to evolve in terms of time penalties as well. You just got a time penalty, another 3 seconds for extending track limits. Now coming with Rolls-Royce, go very slowly through that 2nd last corner. He went very wide through it. I think he actually went outside of the corner. Smith crosses over the line in 13th. The JJS is in 10th, Double G in 11th. Rolls-Royce gets in 4th after, again, another disappointing race compared to the qualifying performance. But nonetheless, still 5th place as Bialyuk crosses the line in 5th. Black Reverse gets 6th place. Tyser comes home in 7th. Now let's see about Videoton and Overspeed. The Sauber boys in 8th. Yeah, looks like in 8th. And Overspeed is going to benefit from any penalties of some sort. Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's too far behind to take advantage of any penalties. Unless Videoton adds that disastrous of a race or that undisciplined of a race. Going to weave across the line to come home in P9. And this is it. Let's just get through the podium. A very well-deserved race win from Evil Kiwi. In his first 2 races, he got a podium in both of them. So the driver from the Czech Republic gets P2 in Germany in his debut, and now takes the top step of the podium. Speaking of P2 in his debut, we also have that from a Chronicle Puck, the pole coming here, and it might be a bit of controversy about this because we didn't see if he made Rolls-Royce go into the wall or if Rolls-Royce went into the wall on his own, but he comes home in P2 nonetheless. But that might be one for the stewards to think about, really. And then we have the Noiderates, the driver from Singapore. He had an amazing performance from the back to P5 in Germany, and now he comes home from 5th to 3rd, as Rolls-Royce is in 4th after starting on pole. Bialyuk also with a 3rd place start, 5th place finish, as you have Black Reverse in 6th, Tyser in 7th, Videoton in 8th, Overspeed in 9th, and JJ closing the top 10, so finishing exactly where he started. So this is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did and you are on YouTube, give me the like button. If you did not, the dislike button is as always right beside it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Hit the bell icon for any notifications of whenever I'm about to start a live stream or to post a video. If you are on Twitch, a follow would be greatly appreciated. Hope to see you guys next time, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.